Well, this is it. August 4th. It's the same weekend as when the story came to me. It took me a few years to just draw it, put it aside, put it in the drawer, I should say. And what came to me was to start decoding it from 3 levels of perception, which actually, looking back, my ailments and addictions of over 20 years dissolved seamlessly, effortlessly, as I got into greater understanding of and acceptance of everything that's going on. So, and what happened with that was this inner music started to arise that I wound up using as a soundtrack at that time for the movie that I made as a graduation, as a way of passage of from the life before into the new. It was so astounding that I left it alone for a while. Here I am, 30 years later, and I discovered the lost transcript, which actually is, it was written from being in the one mind and how one perceives, how I perceive, how I interact. But it's true for everybody. I thought it was just for myself. I thought it was, and it is. It's very, very personal. Yet it's everyone can go on it, on this inner journey, the Odyssey of Shangri-La. Yeah. So what really happens once we ghost bust all the belief constraints that we live under? It's just the inner music starts to arise. It's there all the time. It's like the soundtrack of our lives. It's just that we're not aware of it when there's all these things pushing it down as we're living on the surface, time-boundness. So we can't notice it. We may notice it from moments to moments, from time to time, when we stop and drop to the core of our being. It's there. It arises. All inspiration, innovation arises from there, I'm sure. It does for me. So I don't think I'm that different from anyone else. I've just taken the time to notice the sequence of how things come about. So yeah, it is up to each of us to take the inner journey, to address all the things that are standing in the way of that inner incredible music that's within us, that's within everything. We're in this field of music that we move through, yet we tend to get attached to forms, which actually is the music morphed into form. But at a certain level, we can actually hear it, experience it, of ourselves and of others and everything around us. It makes life so much fuller. And so you gotta ask yourself, what are you listening to? What is the soundtrack of your life that you're moving to, abiding by? There is an inner soundtrack that's playing all the time, that given the attention and the expansion of being able to address, so they dissolve the different belief systems that construct us, then it's just there. It's evident for myself. It's been there all along. That's where all my epiphany riffs come from, my innovations, my ideas, my nudgings. Tens of thousands of epiphany riffs written and sung and hummed and danced. They all stem from that inner music that's within me, That's the reward for clearing out all the beliefs that confine, constraint, access to that inner music. So that's where I choose to come from. Hopefully you will too, for yourself. Cheers.